Okay guys, how's it going? Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be discussing Operation 3 versus tuning. It just got released about 20 minutes ago. I've actually looked at this beforehand, which is something I don't normally do. Normally I do it in one take. However, I've had a chance to look at this because I wanted to go in with a little bit of knowledge about what I'm talking about. If you didn't know, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. If you enjoy the content I've been putting out for the past 7 odd months, support the content goal, Twitch Prime, whatever you want to do, boys. Appreciate all the help. As a small Gears channel, likes, comments, activity helps a bunch. So, who am I? Well, I've played Gears 1 since the dawn of time, since it first released, and I've played every Gears since. And I've played every game multiplayer, and I've been pretty decent at them. I've been a big champion of changing the game. I've been advocates of some changes they've done, not so much for others. I've given some balanced feedback. Some of it's been taken on board, some of it hasn't. I've always tried to help the game, and today we've got a versus tuning change. So, what's happening? We've obviously got Operation 3 launching. If you don't know what Operation 3 is, check the channel. I've got you up to date with that. Let's jump right into it. So there's going to be a change which we already knew coming. If you sort of have been active with the channel and I've spoke about this, we knew there was going to be a change to the up A speed boost, but we didn't know what. So now we've got some details. Sorry if I cough as well, by the way. I'm pretty sure I actually have had/have the virus, so apologies if I keep coughing. I'll try my best. So basically, to get the speed boost, as in the what we call Zip Mario Kart, Wii, whatever meme you want to call it, speed boost, you didn't need to be doing anything previously. You just got it. If you hit the up A, whether you were sat in cover or not, you got a speed boost. Now, players must be at 90% of their maximum roadie run speed for 0.25 seconds before a boost is available. When a boost is available, you have a 1 second window to use that boost by a cover slip, a vault, after the roadie run has stopped. So your roadie run, reach 90% of your movement speed, and then if you perform a cover slip, a vault, or a sort of step up, you're going to be able to do that boost. Now, stopping power is considered, so you will be able to lower someone's movement speed below 90% and stop them doing that boost. So hopefully that up A boost speed spam where people were just stood still on cover and in a blink of an eye jumped on you with an up A will be gone. That is a great change. Just to note as well, I want to be completely honest. I think it's amazing that Gears of War to this day still does a load of patch notes like this for the movement, for the gun balance, for the general multiplayer. Personally, I know that Gears is becoming kind of a small game. It's got a niche community, it's got a big PvE community, and it's got all that stuff. But it has a hardcore sort of multiplayer scene, but it is small, and it could easily be ignored. However, the developers are showing that they are continuing and they're showing their willingness to improve the game on a base level, and I have to say that that's good. Again, whether we scroll through these and we like the changes or not, the fact that the developers are committed to doing these changes show that they care, and easily they could drop it. They could say, listen, PvE is our most important thing. We're creating custom maps, we're doing all this, and the multiplayer is okay, it's fine the way it is, it's not too bad, not too great, we're going to leave it. But they're not. They're working on improving the game, and, you know, I've seen a lot of negativity about Operation 3 on my own video on Reddit, saying that it's like the worst update ever, the devs are terrible. The game might be different to a classic Gears game. It might have a different style, but they're not bad guys, they're not bad devs. They are trying their best, and there's a lot of work they're putting in to these little mechanics that, frankly, I know I'm going off topic here, but I'm a long form channel, so, you know, I played a couple games of Horde yesterday with some guys. They were complete casuals, I would describe them as, but they loved Horde. Absolutely loved Horde. They were all about the cards, everything. I asked them why they didn't really play multiplayer. And it was just very simple. They said they just didn't like it. They're not interested in people moving around fast. Not interested in competing, basically, and all that stuff. And they were having an absolute blast, and it's easy to appease to that market and then just forget the multiplayer side of it, but they're not. They are actively trying to improve the game. And that sounds like a great change. The blind fire, the transition time has been lowered, and the increased aim time from basically when you shoot the gun hangs over is longer. So what it means is it's going to be basically more comfortable, better to blind fire, which is great. Now, this is a good change coming up, is about the active reload. Now, the active reload for me has always been a strange one. I was only speaking about it today, asking, I don't even know what the active reloads do for half the guns. I feel like that information should be available, and I couldn't really find it anywhere. However, I think for a new player, a veteran and everything, this is a good idea to have universal sort of active reloads. So power weapons, instead of all having different active reloads, every 8 seconds you can do an active reload. Secondaries, every 10 seconds. Loadout weapons, every 12. So that's quite a big buff for loadout weapons, meaning you can reload a lot. Sorry, you can active a lot more frequently. And all weapons have the same active duration. So that's just unifying active reloads and making everything more memorable, more muscle memory, smoother gameplay, more simplified, but yet keeping the same level of depth. It's getting rid of the awkwardness of trying to remember what a Talon pistol reload is and what a Boltok reload is, and just putting them in loadout secondary power, and that's good. Weapon switching, there's going to be less delay. And overall swap speed is going to be faster, which again is good. Don't really need to emphasize that anymore. That's going to be a good change. Now, specifically, we're going to move on to some weapons here. This is an interesting one, and I believe I'm correct in reading it this way, although if I'm wrong, I do apologize. The flashbang has been removed from a loadout, and it says it's available as a secondary weapon. Now, the way I'm interpreting that is that you can choose to spawn in with a Gnasher and a flashbang, but no Lancer, which means there could potentially be less Lancers on the map. Because, you know, some people will choose to do shotgun flash and not Lancer and use their pistol maybe as the covering fire weapon. So that's an interesting one. It's obviously brilliant that the flashbang has been removed from the loadout. I understand why it's in the game, and I understand why it was in the game. The way the maps have been designed and the way the game's been designed, it's all 5v5, it's all team based, and it's very difficult to break a setup without a flashbang or a coordinated push. Now, a coordinated push can be done, but as a solo, sort of playing online with randoms, you're not really going to organise a push, are you? So you can take matters into your own hand and use a flashbang. That makes sense in theory, however, in practice, it was just 5 flashbangs after 5 flashbangs after 5 flashbangs, and it did need to go. So, that's just a great thing, and I'm looking forward to that. They'll also be on the map, but obviously nowhere near as prevalent because they're on the map. You can fight over them, etc., etc. Now, the smoke grenade has been reduced from 8. Sorry, my damn cough. Has been reduced from 8 to 10. The reason behind that, I'm thinking there's obviously going to be a hell of a lot more smokes, and you don't want the whole map covered in smoke constantly. Makes sense. Good change. So now we get into some interesting ones. We've got the Gnasher. Now, reload failure, all reloads Reload failure is gone. All reloads are going to give you full capacity. I can hear you rejoicing. I can hear you rejoicing. Let me know in the comments if you're looking forward to that change. And an active reload will result, a perfect active will result in the fastest reload possible. So it's going to be like the old shotgun. Perfect reload at the front, then regular reload. All shots will now land consistently after cancelling a cover slide and when doing a quick pop shot behind cover, which means those pop out shots, those sort of cancel pop out shots are going to be hopefully more accurate, prevalent, you know, sort of making everything feel better. The core gameplay has been improved. And again, just to explain things, everybody moaned that Operation 3 was been delayed and that the core game sucked. Well, it was delayed so this update could fit inside of Operation 3. If they didn't wait to put this in Operation 3, we would have Operation 3 launch, but have all of these problems that I'm looking through here. All of these problems wouldn't have been fixed. So for me, it was worth waiting an extra week or two or whatever the delay was. Maybe it was a month, was it? It was worth waiting that extra time to fix the core game. Now, there's a line here that I'm not too sure on. I've read it a couple times and it says, significantly reduced inconsistent range calculations between muzzle position and victim. Gib and point blank damage thresholds adjusted to compensate. Now, if anyone from TC is watching, I would like to see, because this is obviously PvP and a lot of people care about this, I know it might be finicky and it might be awkward, but if there was the ability to just click this here and show advanced details, I would like to know what the Gib and point blank damage thresholds have gone to and from, because I don't really know what that means. So when I read that something's been changed, but I don't really know what's been changed. Is that Gib range getting updated? Is that I'm going to get point blanked and put full red all of the time? Because at the moment, I'll say that when somebody misses a point blank, you're put so red anyway that they can just tap you down, melee you down. So missing a point blank these days isn't even a big deal most of the time. So I'd like to see a bit more clarity on that. Now, poke damage, the max potential poke has gone from 200 to 150. This is great. I think that adding poke damage to the shotgun was a really good thing. The ability to chip away at people and also the ability to hold your shot, go wide on somebody and down them. However, what was happening, if you watched the esports tournament or you've played at any sort of decent level online, we play Masters King of the Hill, I've watched a few tournaments. What ended up happening in the most recent tournament was literally, so they'd stand back, shotgun, and the guy would be put so full red that he could just be meleeed down, because the melee does 51 or 52 damage, and then the shotgun was doing like 50. Combine that, it's going over the 100 value, they're getting downed. So this hopefully will solve that issue of the complete full red off one shot, and this might re-extend shotgun fights again, which is good. In theory, obviously I haven't played the game, and magnetism has been reduced, meaning you will now have to be slightly closer for magnetism, meaning if you are staying away from that distance, if you're stepping back a little bit, there'll be less magnetism on you, so you'll be able to dodge a bit more, which is good. And all of this seems really good right now, doesn't it? Seems really good. But then I read this line and I got a bit confused. and the next few lines kind of confused me. So the magazine on the Lancer has gone from 30 to 40, meaning the amount of bullets you can fire before you have to reload. That's a 33% buff. 33.333 recurring buff on the magazine size, which to me is crazy, because it's crazy for a couple of reasons, and I'm willing to give it a chance. So I'll play devil's advocate, and I'll also give my own thoughts. So what I'll say is, potentially there's going to be less Lancers on the map because there is the option to not spawn with a Lancer and have a shotgun and a flashbang, I believe. if that's how I'm reading the patch notes. So maybe because there's less lancers on the map, to make up for the less lancer fire, they want players to have more bullets. Right? It could be that the Gnasher is going to be more fluid. So they want people to be able to lancer more to combat the more fluid gameplay. If that's the case, there was no point doing all of the fluid changes because we're just going to get lancered down via adhesion anyway. I'm a big hatred of adhesion. I understand everything else has to be in the game, but the adhesion just makes me feel like all of the wonderful changes you've done to the strafe irrelevant, because when I'm going side to side, I just feel like I'm being hit by people that are missing. That hipfire magnetism might help, but that's magnetism, not adhesion. Now, I'm trying to think of, like, you know, the reasons, as I've explained, for the Lancer buff. I'm also thinking in my head this new game mode. This new game mode has no respawns, single life gameplay, the capture the flag game mode. Now, if people have more Lancers, they have bigger clips, it's going to be much harder to push through because everyone's going to have more magazine size. If people don't choose to spawn with flashbangs and there is now 5 Lancers, instead of basically 5 lots of 30 bullets been fired, which, you know, instead of basically 150 bullets been fired, there's now going to be 200 bullets. That's a really, really big buff, and I don't know why the Lancer has been buffed. I've actually been asking for a magazine capacity nerf. Now, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm trying to wrap my head around why it would be increased. The only reason I can think about a Lancer clip size increase is there might be less on the map. Yeah, that one was a little bit confusing. That's the only one where I was like, I'm not too sure on that one, because everything else seems to be making towards fluid movement and gameplay, but then this one counteracts it and sort of encourages lancering. I don't know, maybe someone can explain that to me, but for me, I was sat here trying to rack my brains as let's think of it as a positive. What's the positive aspect of having extra Lancer bullets? I'm not really sure. Because there's no flashbang, as we spoke about at the beginning, you remember me speaking about the reason the flashbang exists is because the setups are really hard to break, so you have to flashbang to basically stun the opponents and stun their Lancer fire, and then you run in. But if there's less flashbangs now, then even if you left the Lancer the same, that would get an indirect buff. Because there are less flashbangs, meaning you're obviously getting stunned less and CC'd less, which means you can dish out more Lancer fire to somebody pushing you, because obviously they cannot stun you. So even without buffing the Lancer, by removing flashbangs, that's an indirect buff to the Lancer. Then, on top of now hard to break setups because we don't have flashbangs, we've also got a Lancer capacity increase. Now, League of Legends sometimes does these accidental double buffs, and it can really create a mess, and I'm a bit worried about that one. I hope that's not the case, but I am worried about that one, and I thought I'd speak on that. This is a strange one, and I'll tell you why this one was strange when I read it. The Markser has had its damage reduced, and we all know right now, personally, I've been picking up my Lancer and using my Lancer over picking up the Markser, but the damage has been reduced from an already useless gun. And the rate of fire has been increased, so you're like, okay, it does slightly less damage, but it can shoot a lot faster, right? But when you think about thematically what a Markser is a long-range gun where you sort of pick people off with bullets that don't do enough damage to kill you. They're not an insta-kill bullet. They're like a thud, 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 and each one hurts, and you're thinking, damn, he's really peppering me with this Markser, I need to move. Now, the magazine size has been reduced from 8 to 10. So we have less magazine size, but more rate of fire. So you're going to be spamming more, running out of bullets quicker, but then they've increased the zoom in factor. So increasing the zoom in factor to me tells me we want you to use the gun at longer ranges. But we've also increased the rate of fire, so you're not really going to go full zoom in at a distance and go full rate of fire. I don't think you're ever going to use a Markser at full rate of fire. I don't think anyone sits there and spams it at full rate of fire. So the Markser, yeah, is very strange to me because there's a lot of mixed information there. Less damage when it was already weak. Higher fire rate, but less bullets to utilize that higher fire rate, but more zoom in. So I'm not really sure what's going on there with the Markser. If I was to balance the Markser, I would have said damage 250, like a real, or whatever the value is to be like really hurting somebody, but a really slow rate of fire. So somebody and a big zoom. So it wouldn't be a one-shot headshot or a two-shot. It would be like a three-shot body down, but really slow firing. So when you heard that thud and you got hit, you were like, right, I've got a few seconds to move before another one's coming in. I think that might be a better idea, but I haven't tested this. Next, we've got the Snub, and the Snub rate of fire has been increased dramatically, but its damage has been reduced. Now, the Snub is already ludicrously strong, and with players now maybe potentially using a shotgun flash and less Lancer, they might want to use their Snub as sort of a substitute for the Lancer. So that's kind of how that's been going. I've been using my pistol a lot. Now what they've done is they've added a sort of fall-off curve, which means if you pistol from a long distance, it's going to deal less damage. And the active reload no longer gives rate of fire. The rate of fire is just gone onto the base weapon. So the rate of fire now does 10% damage. So what's happened is the pistol has gone from a long-range Lancer substitute with a rate of fire increase to a sort of mid to short-range rapid-fire support gun, which makes sense. It makes more sense to be using a pistol as I'm having a shot, I've rolled backwards, I've pulled out my pistol and I've pistoled you down. However, what was happening on the tournaments and in ranked is people, and you can ask, I've watched a few pros, spoke to a few pros, I discussed with the Vexes on Twitch. Most people will fire 3 pistol bullets, get you full red, and then shotgun you down. Now, maybe that can't happen because of the change we just looked at here, the maximum poke damage. I haven't played this, so I don't know. Maybe that can't happen anymore. Now, if that can't happen anymore, great. But if it can, what could end up happening is shot mid-range Snub to close range, rapid-fire pistol, really beam somebody, and then take out your shotgun, hard aim, one shot down. And when I say one shot down, it's obviously not a one shot down because the pistol would be previously putting you full red. But that's what could happen. And I hope the team have been thinking about this. Because I think about this shit a lot. Like, I'd like to playtest this stuff and see if it works or whatever, but obviously I don't have that opportunity. But that's what goes through my mind is, can you 3-shot somebody with a pistol, swap to your shotgun, get in mid-range, and then one-shot somebody down? If you can do that, that's a problem. If you can't do that, then this could be great, because this sounds like a good Snub. Mid to short range, lower damage, higher fire rate, active reload pistol will be deadly. I'm okay with that. Boltok, again, coming up to the last changes here. Boltok, nerf, great. That gun's super annoying. Everyone camps at the back of the map. And there's some very annoying things that have been removed. The one-shot headshot has gone at point-blank range. Great. That should never be a thing. Maintain short-range effectiveness, but also removed one-shot headshot. People were moaning about that on Twitter, saying, oh, TC don't know what they're doing. They've removed the one-shot headshot, but they're saying it's maintained its effectiveness. Yeah, there is a difference between one-shot headshotting and being effective. So, yeah, Come on now, stop being facetious. Mid to long range damage, there's fall off, meaning you won't be able to just camp at the back of a Boltok, at the back of a hill with a Boltok and rail somebody down. You might have to land a few more shots. But the active reload has got extra damage. So the extra damage, that's when you've got to look out. And I'm okay with that. Windows, like, he's got an active reload, look out, window of opportunity. I'm okay with that. So that sounds good. Dropshot has been nerfed to have only 2 bullets. I'm fine with that as well. That gun's really strong. Overall, this seems like a great patch. And I've got to give props to TC for really digging deep into the game for what really is a small, hardcore niche community. Now, I hope you've all appreciated me, making this video. I try to make these videos for you, and I do get sidetracked and I do speak in depth a lot, but I trust you as a viewer, and I know you like the long videos. So when I go off topic and I talk a little bit longer than, say, the average 10-minute clickbait style YouTuber, I understand that, and I make that content for you. So if you enjoy that content and you enjoy the fact that I'm like a niche channel inside of a niche game doing even niche long videos, I'm willing to take that hit on my own views to create content for you that you enjoy. And hopefully in return, you support me through likes, comments, whatever you want to do. Content goal, Twitch, follows, whatever, That's kind of how it's been going. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I'll be very interested to play this. I think I covered everything I wanted to talk about, from flashbangs, breaking setups, to now potentially having an issue with the Lancer, but I can see why the Lancer might have got extra ammo because there might be less Lancers on the map. There was everything there that I thought, apart from maybe removing aim assist in ranked overall, I'm trying to think of my main gripes with the game. My main gripe of the game was the flashbang, the massive poke range, and sort of finicky sort of blind fire covers was getting kind of annoying. And that all seems to be changing. Again, there is some issues here. There was only one thing that I saw missing, and people are going to go mad when I suggest this, but hear me out, okay? Hear me out. Node, if you're watching this, what do you think about this? The sniper should not have, is it got 9 bullets now? I think the sniper should have 4 bullets. Alright, hear me out. I love sniping. I do. I absolutely love sniping. I love getting the headshots in ranked, and it's fun. But sometimes I feel like if you can't land that headshot on somebody lancering, and maybe this could be a change just for the pros. Maybe the regular sniper is fine. But when I watched competitive and sort of playing a bit myself, the sniper rifle isn't feared, I feel like. It wasn't really picked in escalation ever. I feel like people would rather have a drop shot, and people would rather have flashbangs or shocks and stuff like that. And I feel like the reason for that is, if you can't land a headshot, and most people, when you know there's a sniper about, you keep your head down, you move in a different manner. It's very difficult to headshot somebody. You just don't fear it. Now on Gears 1 there was the active down, and everyone's going to have a gasp of breath and say, not the active down. But hear me out. If the gun had a lot less ammo but could active down, you might fear that sniper a little bit more. You might not be able to land the headshot, but you might be able to land a running shot and down somebody. And I feel like the sniper rifle has an issue where, how do I word it? There's 2 avenues I feel you could take it. You could do less ammo, an active down, so people think, oh god, there's a sniper, we need to be careful here. He's going to check me with some damage and I could go down here if it's an active. I need to watch myself. I need to be careful. I'm worried about it. If you're playing like an execution-based game, oh god, he's got the sniper. He's not going to do 9 active downs. He could only maybe do 3. But I feel like they could fear it. Or you go the other way and you make the sniper a lot more fun to use. Because right now, the sniper, you get sway kicked. If you put the sniper in from the arcade mode, where you don't have sway when someone's lancering at you, and you could pop shot a little bit better, or the blind fires were slightly more center screen, people would love that gun more. they would be doing better shots, sort of trick shots, more opportunities to do fancy shots. When somebody's lancering you, if you scope in and I lance you with one bullet, your scope gets kicked up in the air, and you can't really do much. And it's frustrating. And I don't feel like the sniper has got. I think it's got a little bit lost in the game. So I would like to see either super serious sniper, small bullet capacity, downing people, you fear it, or more playmaking potential, less irritating factors such as scope, glint, and sway. That was just a thought of mine. Yeah. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Let me know in the comments below what you think about those updates. If you are new to the channel, do subscribe and hit that notification bell. I will showcase here that I've got some different videos, okay? Hear me out. There's a lot of stuff on the channel, and I think you'll enjoy it. Just take some time out. We're all in isolation. We've all got plenty of time. There's a couple of videos here you might enjoy. There's a candid celebration of me reaching 10,000 subscribers. This is a real honest chat by me as a person. So if you want to know a little bit more about me as a person, and you've got 17 minutes to kill, and you're in isolation and you're a bit bored, you might enjoy that. These next two videos are about GGZII. These are how GGZII was made, all about behind the scenes, how the Lancers were created, how the characters like Dom were created, you know, all that stuff. Next up, we've got the actual Operation 3 been reviewed and all of the patch notes for that been reviewed. And then we've got a fun video. Now, people yesterday really disliked this video and weren't very happy with it, but it's a very fun video. It's me and my stream viewers hopping in to a game for the end of Operation 3, a bit of banter, a bit of jokes, and it's just a flex lobby, okay? People might go, oh, skins, I hate skins, this is why the game's dead, but it's just a bit of a laugh, okay? We were seeing who could be the best dressed character, who had the best skins, the best emotes, the best bravado, the best memes in the chat, and it's me just, you know, being a bit of a joker and judging it. I think people are thinking that is a super serious video by me, and I know it doesn't come across often, but I'm unbelievably sarcastic to the point of you can't even tell I'm being sarcastic. That's just like my nature. And this was a fun video. Obviously I'm sort of joking with all. I'm doing it in a serious joking manner. Does that make sense? And I think people got the wrong end of the stick with that video. It's a light-hearted video. I thought we're all in quarantine. Everyone's worried about the, you know, the damn virus, and I figured, hey, I'll make some fun videos for you. And, you know, it didn't seem to go down too well, and for that, you know, you know, that's a shame, because I do try to make interesting content. You know, the views are dwindling on Gears. We're down to like 500 views and stuff like that, and I'm still trying to make daily videos for 7 months. So if you appreciate that, you can go ahead and leave a like, a comment, maybe check out some previous videos that you may have missed, such as the Sticks versus Souls game mode that I created. So yeah, that's kind of it. Thanks for supporting. Again, if you want to support the content goals somewhere on screen, you can do. You can also follow me scrolling along here at the bottom at ZTwitch on Twitter. Thanks very much for all the support. Appreciate it. Also today, you can see up there in the top right, I got hosted by Drix, guy on Rise. So Drix, thanks for that host again, mate. Catch you later, folks.